Hey everyone, my name's Rebecca and this is RP Google Tutorials. Wow! So today I'm gonna show you how I do a masculine looking makeup and just basically how I do it. But I'm also gonna do like a little twist on it where I'm gonna do it based on these color contacts that I have. So I'm gonna put those on first before we get into the gist. And I'll also leave a little note of where I bought these contacts. So if you wanna buy them yourself, you can definitely do that. So give me a hot minute. Hey, so this is actually my first time trying these on. I think they look really nice. They're nice and comfortable, and I think maybe the only thing is that they're a little big, but that's okay. These are, they're supposed to make a character. So now, before I go into anything, I'm gonna show you what kind of products I use, and just to get an idea. Alright, let's get into this. So, what I normally start off first is the foundation. And I use L'Oreal True Color Match to match with my very pale skin. I kinda like this brand. They got a nice wide variety of colors and it's pretty nice to match up to my skin tone. And I know they have a variety of shades. And we match it up. We get it on nice to the sponge, and a nice little tip that I gathered through my time doing makeup is to wet the sponge so that it's a nice spread all over your face and it's not like sopping. So let's pep, 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 pep. Alright, this is just the liquid foundation on, and something that I typically do is that I would use the powder foundation just to pick up any loose ends all over this little sponge. I need to get more of this, but do it all over and then get it all right in there. I know in this lighting I look paler than I am, but trust the process. It's gonna be okay. Now that we got the foundation base on, the next thing that I do is start contouring my face, and the 3 points that I typically start out with is the forehead, cheeks, and then chin to make everything look sharper. So for that, I start off with the liquid with this, the NYX Professional contouring pen, or whatever it's, the roll-on, whatever it's called, and it's pretty smooth. And what I like to do is do it on the high points of your eyebrow, like around here for the chin, right there, there. Try to get it as even as you can, and even if you don't, that's okay. You can fix it in blending. And then get it around your, I'm looking over there because there's another mirror over there, so, but get it right on your chin again. Try to get it as equal as you can. And then with your cheeks, get it on the high point of your cheek, like right underneath your cheekbone. All right, and depending on what character you want to do, whether, or even if it's just for you, whether you want to look younger, older, the amount of sharpness is the key. Ooh, So typically when I do blend everything out, I use like a little brush like this. Yeah. Like a little stubby, it's kind of soft and hard. So I'll put that right there. So I'm gonna show you a little softer. So you sharpen out like this, but then I'll bring it around to accentuate the cheekbone. And then you can like squint your face like this just to get just to fall through. And then do the other side. I try to start with the cheekbones first. That's just me. Okay. And then to help accentuate it, I either use the Aesthetica palette, like typically within the first 3 naturals, or the NYX contour palette within like the bottom tier mainly. And I'm gonna use Aesthetica just because it fits better, and then for any other detail I want, I use the NYX palette. So gonna go in with this. I like the combined colors. I like to combine this and this, this and this, and gotta do Jeffree Star it. All right, and then we go into it, but not too much. So we do a little bit, and then it got really red. So now, like, if that happens, try using a different brush so it doesn't over blend, or just use the yellow bit. I'm pretty sure this is used for a different purpose, but this is just how I use it, just to help tone down the brown tones with the contour. Just to help make it look more natural. All right, this is getting better. And now I'm gonna use a slightly, not this one. I'm gonna use a slightly darker color from the NYX, one of these. Which one? I'm gonna use, I'm Jeffree Starring it today. I'm an official beauty guru. All right. And then just a little bit, just to sharpen out your cheeks. And it's okay if it's not perfect the first try. It takes some practice to get used to. Like, I definitely wasn't a master my first try. Believe you me, I combined face paint and foundation. Not a good look, fam. It's not a good look. Also, if things do get a bit rough, you can even use the powder foundation just to even the tones out. It's interesting how lighting changes everything, because on here it looks different than what I do in my mirror. Interesting. All right, now we work on blending the chin and the forehead. So we just take it down and just pull it back like this. It's fun to make funny faces while you're doing stuff, so it's... I probably left this on too long, so it's getting hard to blend out. But it's okay, just continue what you're doing. And if it gets too thick, again, just keep going with it. Trust the process. I might have used a bit too much of this color, but that's okay. Because you know why? everything's a process. And you can see already, like, the forehead is becoming a different shape here. But since it's looking a bit weird, we're gonna use the foundation powder from before and just blend it out. Alright, and now we're gonna combine colors again with the Aesthetica palette. Just go into the same colors that we used before, like mixing up the colors around here. And this time I'm gonna go in right there. But I'm gonna use a different brush now because it's getting too thick. I wanna use instead a little square brush. Focus it. Yeah, it's fine. Alright, this top part and down here, they're not making me happy. So, you know what I do? I erase my mistakes. Because you know what? Makeup is kind of like pen and paper. You just do little dips and just erase your mistakes. And it might help blend it out too. So we'll see what happens. What happens? Probably need a bit more of that. Alright, now it's coming along a bit better. I'm gonna do a little take two, but instead of the liquid, I'm gonna try using the powder contouring. Just to make that more appealing. Not appealing. What's appealing? Not this face. I'm joking. Maybe. Yeah, right now it's actually helping tone down the color, so it's not as red as before. Yeah, it's getting there. And I'm gonna redo the little chin contour, so give it a hot minute. I'm gonna go back with Aesthetica because I keep grabbing the NYX palette, but I like the Aesthetica. It's pretty nice, actually. It has a nice color. It's not like too vibrant. It's like a bit more natural looking. So now we just dab a little across the chin just to make it a more square shape. And then we can use the yellow to help blend it and highlight the middle. And then we can even use the powder to help blend out this part. We're just putting a bunch of makeup on the face, and that's okay. And then we're gonna put some right here just to sharpen it out. Okay. Now back to Aesthetica. I'm looking in the mirror of the Aesthetica. Yeah. Okay. I am gonna use the NYX palette just for a slight detail for the forehead. Nothing too big, nothing too fancy. I'm gonna use like one of the darker colors over here just to help make it more noticeable. All right, now we're finally on to the nose contouring. And again, I use the combination of the Aesthetica and the NYX, but right now I'm gonna use Aesthetica. And again, those same 3 brown palettes right here. And again, I use a square brush, or sometimes I will use this little rounded brush. It doesn't like to clear, but I like to use this little rounded brush because it does like goes in nice little crevices real nice. And again, depending on how you want to look, if you want to go more masculine, like really masculine, you can make your nose a bit thicker. Like you can start it right here so it makes it seem like your nose is wider, and just trail it down around. And then if you wanna do a different shape, you can just pull that a bit in and make your nose a bit thinner, like you see right here. Just pull it down, like brush it downwards. And I'm gonna use the little rounded brush just to pull in more of that color. Just go deep into it like this. And again, making funny faces during when you're doing your makeup is kind of a given. Like you can see right now, my nose is becoming a slightly different shape. And I'm gonna use the NYX. I'm gonna use the NYX with the first 2 right here. It's okay, it's all a process. Just trust the process of makeup. And then if you're like, hey Becca, what about the red on the side of your nose? Well, I have a nice little tip for you, friend. You can use a bit of the yellow right here to help blend it out and go right even into your eye. Not into your eye, but on the eyelid, so that it tones the color down. And even with the powder foundation, you can even use it to help make it more natural, just seeping color upon color, just to make it more natural. Honestly, the nose contouring is my favorite part. Well, actually no, I'm lying. The next part is my favorite. The next part, what I'm gonna do is my favorite. I'm gonna put a little more contouring, a little bit more. Every time I get too close, it starts to unfocus for whatever reason. Okay. Yeah, as you can see, it kind of made a slightly different shape to my nose. The power and beauty of makeup. Hey, everything's a lie. I'm trying to be funny. I think I'm funny. All right, so now for the next part, which is honestly one of my favorites, and it's the eye contouring. And typically when I do that, I just make the eyelids seem a bit darker, a bit grungier. I like the grunge, and typically with that, I like to combine a lot of things. That's what I like to do. I like to combine different palettes and different techniques into it, and for that, I combine this natural L'Oreal palette, this natural NYX palette, and even with the Burt's Bees palette. I'm surprised that Burt's Bees has a makeup line, but it's honestly pretty good. I like it. We're gonna start off with the NYX palette. And typically with that, I like to go pretty light, like with pretty much with like right here and here, just as a nice little base. And if you notice, I like to use the same brushes for everything. I like to use the same brushes for everything. So you just get into the corner, just brush it around. And if you don't have a brush, your fingers can be just as good. All right. And now for the darker parts, I'm gonna use the next, like not all of these, but with the colors within these squares. So I'm gonna start off with this one. I'm gonna start with this one. Whoops. Go into the eyelid. And whatever you do to the one, try to copy it into the other as best as you can. Whenever I do makeup, it's never 100% perfect. I simply do my best and hope for the best. And alright. And what I'm doing now, I'm gonna put a little bit of the red in like this color underneath my eye. Just keep your eyes wide open. Nice and wide, and you can see like it kind of helps bring out the red in the contacts. And whatever I try to put on the under eye, I put it on the top. And that part you can do either or. You can put the red on the top lid before the bottom, or bottom lid over the top. Whatever is most comfortable for you. Now I'm gonna use the little natural palette and get the more orangey bit. If you're wondering what that sound was, it was, I'm a real YouTube makeup star. Wow! Just get it right in between the area. I know I've said more grunge, but this is looking kind of pretty looking. Like a little gothic, maybe. Am I just making this up as I go along? Yes. I'm gonna use a little bit of the Burt's Bees. So I'm gonna use the yellow bit for like the little corner of the eye. I'm gonna do a little bit of the orange and red into right here, just to bring it out a bit more. I can't tell my camera's not focused or my eyes aren't focusing as I do this. Alright. Alright. I like it. Okay, now we got this. And now for a very simple part would just be the eyebrows. And however you want to do them, you do them how you want. But this is just how I like to do them. I don't really cover them up or use the glue method over the foundation. Well, that's a lie. I do that sometimes, depending on what it is. But I'm not gonna do it today. So I'm gonna go back into the palettes and just pick, well actually no, I'm not gonna use NYX. I'm gonna use L'Oreal, which is, it's just black. Just black. It's just black. And just try to pencil that in. Just make it as thick as you can and pencil it in. Like you see, it's, and try to get the shape as nice as you can, and then also try to mimic it onto the other side as nice as you can. At least make the top bit, like right here, mimic each other. And again, if you don't get it, that's fine. Whenever I do this for fun, and I'm not seeking for utter perfection. I seek it to a level that where I like it. That's all it really is. Like, doing this type of makeup, whether you're doing it for costume, cosplay, or even just you want to do it outside your house, you do it for what you like, and no one should judge you for that. All right, those eyebrows complete, and technically the look would be done. However, I want to do some extra bits. So what I'm going to show you guys now is how I would typically do facial hair and that type of stuff, because I think it'd be really fun. So with that, I learned a fancy tip for that. So I'm going to use a very soft brush like this, like a feathery brush, and I'm going to use black, like just dip it in. So we're going to do like a little mustache, and like what we usually do is just do like a little shadow of where the mustache would be, and then we're gonna fill it in with more detail later. And it can be however long you want. Like even right now it looks like I have a mustache, but it's not even done yet. And I'm gonna include a little bit of chin hair, and make sure you do it underneath your chin too, so like when you're angling, it's not doesn't break away from the illusion, and you just follow the natural line of your face. And if you have any, and also another thing is that if you felt like you messed up on your chin, you can just cover it up with this. Even just doing it like this, making a little 5 o'clock shadow, is a good start. But I'm not gonna finish there. I'm gonna do nice jazziness. Even right now, I look like a little scoundrel. All right, we got that. And this is actually a step that I forgot. So we're gonna do the lips really quick. So again, we're gonna go back to this little brush. So it has black on it, so what I do is like I would just take a nice little rub on the lip, right on your little wrist. For creating art, man. You can't be afraid to get down and dirty. All right, yeah, it's good. So we're going back to the little NYX palette, and we're just gonna pick a nice color. We're gonna do a little bit of these two, just underneath. Right there, just to make it. Just put a little shadow underneath, and then I'm gonna do my lips, and I'm gonna use this little lipstick, the NYX variety. Just put it on like that, but then don't stop there. So I'm gonna use my brush. Just help shape it out. Yeah. So it doesn't look like your lips are pale. It has some color in it. It looks more natural. Cool. Alright. And now we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do the same thing on the bottom lip. Typically I would just do the top and not the bottom, but I am feeling extra today. So we're also gonna combine this little NYX lipstick and it's a bit rosier, but I want it that way. So yeah. And you can just wipe it a little bit off so it doesn't look too much like lipstick. And my hands are a little covered. It's okay. Yeah. Okay. And now we're gonna fill in the stash. And again, we're gonna do a little combo reaching. We're gonna do some combos. We're gonna use the little black pencils. They're not pencils. The little black eyeliners combined with the L'Oreal. And one other thing, this dark palette, because it has like the little grays into it, so we're gonna do a lot of combination with this. And to apply it, we would used to use a square brush so it looks a bit more natural. And we're gonna start off with the pen. So how we do that is we have to go along our natural hairline. So you have to move downward to your natural mustache. So, and just thicken certain areas where you think would be thick. And again, if you make a mistake, just keep moving forward and also try to get it as even as you can. But if you don't, that's okay. The human face is not perfect. So, sorry. And then we get to the chin, and we use a combination of this as well as the palettes I showed you. But with the palettes, we're gonna use a little bit of the combo with the round brush and the square brush, just to make everything look a bit more natural. Because that's really the point of when you're doing facial, is just to make it look as natural as you can. And that includes like following the hairline, following that kind of jazz. So we're actually gonna start off with the foundation, like not foundation, but with the palettes. So we're gonna actually start off with a little bit of the grays in the white, in the light. Just flick it. Make sure you carry underneath your chin, because some beards or mustaches, well, most of the beards tend to go underneath your chin, so it doesn't get away with illusion. And then if you're gonna do, and then along with the black, you're gonna use browns as well, since, or typically I use browns, just to make it a bit more layered, feel a bit more realistic. And then if you don't like a certain thing, we can just cover it right up. And it's all about building layers when it comes to this. You just build upon build. And it's okay if some areas are darker, some areas are lighter. That's facial hair. This part is also really fun to do. It's a nice little relaxation thing, because you just focus in, get into the zone, and you just relax. At least that's how I think about it. Again, we're building upon this layer just to make it seem as natural as we can. We follow basic hairline. Or if you have a specific reference, you can reference that. That's totally fine, but always follow a basic hairline. Like, not gonna lie, in the beginning I was kind of worried, but I'm like, okay, everything's looking great now with the overall makeup. Sorry, I get nervous. We go back to this guy, and we just lather him up in black. Just get him little flicks. And again, if you want to make certain parts darker and lighter, that's totally fine. I want to bring it up a bit more. Just bring it up gently to a little above your chin. Just remember to layer, layer, layer. And now we bring out this boy to get all the nice finesse details. And try not to go heavy hand with it. This is just for little details. There we go. Just little hairs all over your face. And then if you want to put little stray away hairs, like a little above, a little below. Because again, the human body is not perfect. We have little random hairs, we have scars, we have all that fun jazz that we don't like in our body, in our face. And I am one of those people where I get really annoyed when I get scars on my face. Alright. And now I'm gonna do I want to do a scar now, because I think that'd look neat. And to do the scar, you can, again, use any medium that you want. But personally for me, I'm going to use a little combo of the NYX, like, eye pencil, and then the Burt's Bees natural. So I'm going to just do a little scar. A little scar, right here. Just get a little basic shape. I'm gonna be Aizawa. Just get a little pink, and then just out. Sharpen it out, and then we're also gonna use this little brow pencil, but we're not gonna use it for our brows. We're gonna use it for a scar. Help the shape of it going along. Ooh, bad boy. And now ours done. So what I'm actually gonna do now is do a little bit of blush. Like not too much, but just a little bit, just to make everything seem natural. Again, I combined a lot of products, so I combined like the red specifically from this Burt's Bees eyeshadow with their Burt's Bees blush. It's very red, honestly, but I really like it. And then I might also use some highlighter. What? You can never use, if you want to make it look pretty, you can make it look pretty, you can do pretty masculine. Yeah. If you want to use highlighter in your masculine looks, do it. There's nothing stopping you. There's pretty boys. You can do some buff boys with some highlighter. That'll make them extra pretty. We need pretty boys out there. We need them. Alright, the blush, I try to use the very nice, the feathery brush. And I just, boop, boop, and gentle around the cheeks. Because we don't want too much, just enough. Just enough of pink, and then I do a little bit on the nose, and then I like to darken that little nose up with I like to darken the nose up with the little red. So with that in particular, I like to use this little brushy looking one. And we just dab it in. We just dab it in. Just right there. And don't worry if it looks too dark or like too all together. We're gonna blend it out. Take out a softer brush and just do a nice little smoothing out. There we go. And now, you know what? I'm actually gonna put a little bit of that red on my lips. You all might be wondering, like, Becca, what are you doing? That's not supposed to go there. Well, I do what I want. And there's no rules when it comes to makeup and stuff like that. You can pretty much do whatever you want. Just make sure that you're being smart about it. All right, now that we got the little blush bits on there, I'm gonna use the highlighter. And with this, I'm gonna mostly do these three. So I'm just gonna dab, 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 dab. Dab, 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 dab. Just again. Put it around the cheek areas just to make it look sparkle. And then you combine these two. Just put it down your nose because you can see, and like a little bit around your eyebrows. A little bit on your forehead, just to make it an extra shine. Do one last thing, and that would be a neck contour, since again, most masculine men or like masculine identifying like tend to have a different neckline. So we're gonna bring that back, this guy, and we're gonna bring back the contour palettes again. Aesthetica, hey. And we're just gonna combine and just gently go along the lines of your neck. And then just blend it out. In hindsight, we should have done this before the beard, but we're winging it and we're adding on. And just doing that. And then one little piece that I typically tend to do is just identify your Adam's apple. Because if you're a girl, or if you're AFAB or whatever, your Adam's apple isn't defined. So you have to define it. So I try to identify where it's at, and it's sitting right here. I bring back the little square one, and then back with the palette, just dab, 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 dab. Jeffree Star in it. Just. Okay, we're actually gonna use a different palette because it wasn't really working out, so I want to use this one because it's a bit darker. So. And then just create little circles. Again, it doesn't need perfect, at least it has to be identifying. Yeah. And then just maybe use your finger. Yeah. Okay, so now we got the makeup done. And now I'm gonna show you guys with a nice, cool outfit. Alright, so thank you guys for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed my video. I'm sorry if it wasn't the best. This is my first YouTube video, but I hope you guys like it and want to see more from me. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you feel is right. And I hope you guys have a really nice day. I hope my tutorial helped you learn something new. So, bye.